Today, Lynn Williams is the presenter. She is a candidate for Executive Director of Philadelphia Area Great Careers Group, which provides online career development and networking for career transitions, job seekers, and career management, employed and self-employed. She also writes resumes, LinkedIn profiles, and LinkedIn pages, and focuses on keywords. She's working on her doctoral dissertation on the topic of LinkedIn. And today, SCORE is partnering with SBA. SCORE was formed in 1964, and SCORE mission is to foster small business communities through confidential mentoring and education. SCORE's vision and mission is that every person has the support and necessary to thrive small business owners. We have about 100 volunteers to help small businesses for free of cost. So now I'm going to introduce Lynn Williams, who is the presenter and speaker for today's presentation.
So we're doing how to gain customers with a LinkedIn company page. So the access to the deck is that little bit.ly link. It is case sensitive, and I did put that in the chat. So, if you were to go to this, a month or two from now, I might have changed the deck. And I always keep, my decks updated for each time that I'm going to present the same topic. So we got a lot of topics to cover in an hour, and here's an overview of some of the things we're going to cover. So if you're going to start with a company page, if you don't have one, you have to build one. So you have to have some graphics available. I typically use Canva, and you have to have, general contact information, industry, company size. Hopefully you have a tagline for your business. You have to have some kind of verbiage or content to put in the about section. And then you want to come up with 20 of your specialties, keywords, and then hashtags that you're going to follow. So I'm going to do a little demo on Canva, but what that's going to be is I'm going to switch Google Drives here. So I'm going to stop share, and then I'm going to reshare my Canva platform, which is on a different Google Drive. Okay. So when I go into Canva, if I create an image, okay, I'm going to click on custom size, and the logo for your company page would be 300 by 300. So if you dragged and dropped your logo into this square, so I have uploaded logos before, and let's just do this one, okay? So I could make this particular logo 300 by 300. And that way I've got the right size for the company page. So if you're going to make the banner for the company page, then you can go back to home, create a new design, custom design, and in this case, it's going to be 1128 by 191. And you create new design, and now you've got your pixel sizes exactly the way you want it for your banner. Now, there's a bunch of LinkedIn banners that are available to you, different templates, but that does not help you customize, your banner, with your colors. So you may want to just start from a blank slate here and create it from scratch, but that's up to you. Depends on how you want to deal with that. So I'm going to go back and pull up my other Google Drive again. Whoops, hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. All right, here we are. Okay. So the next thing is you would want to get a custom hashtag, hopefully, for your business. And here is a link to an article that I wrote about 25 hashtag tips for your business or your job search. Now, I want to talk a little bit about camel case for a hashtag. And if you don't know what that means, here is Great Careers PHL. There's a capital G, there's a capital C, and there's a capital PHL. So that is camel case versus all lowercase. It's just much easier for people to read if you set up your custom hashtag for camel case. So how do you create a custom hashtag? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create a post that has that in it. So say, here's a post. And I put the hashtag Great Careers PHL. So you have to create the post that has that hashtag in it. Then you can go click on that hashtag from your post and then click follow. So you would be the first person to follow that custom hashtag. But you might want to check and see if people have already created that particular hashtag. So you would hashtag personalized. Okay, so let's say I wanted hashtag personalized. Let's say that's my custom hashtag. And there's somebody that has hashtags on a post, but nobody's got hashtag personalized. So let's say that was your business name. So now you can also click on posts and see if anybody else has, used that. And I'm getting the same post up here, but he doesn't have that hashtag in there. So, that nobody else is using that hashtag if you actually put it in the search bar. And please feel free to put questions in the Q&A as we go along. And, hopefully my score support here will be able to moderate the chat, because it'll be difficult for me to do that when I'm presenting, but I'm happy to answer questions as I go. Going back to the slideshow here. Now, I want to show you how to start out and build a company page. So there's an article I wrote. It was Establish and Leverage Your LinkedIn Company Page for Self-Employment. So if you click on that link, you'll come to this particular article. And I've built in some, hyperlinks into this. But if you scroll down towards the bottom, it says, here are the step-by-step instructions with visuals to set up a company page. So if you click on those step-by-step instructions, this is the Google Doc, and I created a company page for someone, and then they killed it because they decided to set up as a nonprofit. So they took their for-profit business of doing transformative anti-bias workshops down, and now they're doing it as a nonprofit. So you won't actually see this company page in existence anymore. But I did take pictures step by step along the way as to how to do it. Now, to show you live, if you're on your LinkedIn profile, up here, there's 9 little squares and it says for business. if you click on that little down arrow, there's a menu that comes up and it says create company page. So you just have to decide whether you're going to do a small, medium, a large business, a showcase page, or are you an educational institution? I would recommend the left choice. I did have a showcase page at one point in time, but as a solopreneur, it's hard enough keeping up with one page, much less two. So I'm not sure that I would make a recommendation to have a showcase page from the get-go. I think, you'd have to get more followers and it's easier just to have it all in one place. So if you click on this page, you just start filling out the information. And that's when you also have your logo and your banner ready to go. And when you start filling this stuff out, you'll be able to build it. Now, where does your company page go? Well, here's a little round mini me. So if I click on this mini me, you're going to see that I have access to several company pages. So if I were to go to the Great Careers Group, here I'm looking at this as an admin, but if I wanted to look at it as a member, there's a banner that I built. There's the logo right here. And then I can look at posts. So it shows we have 3,732 followers, 23 employees. We really don't have employees. We're a volunteer-run organization, but these are volunteers that support our nonprofit. Now, this post I've pinned to the top. This is a video of the events that we have coming up this particular week. So every week I do post a video recapping what's happening, but we also have individual posts, and we've got a lot of different things and a lot of different hashtags going on. So if I were to look at it as an admin, you can see in our analytics, we got little red arrows down. So that's not always encouraging, but it does happen. You can't always have green arrows going up. So this is in the past 7 days, but we do have 3,732 followers. And you see up here, here's pinned. So if I wanted to unpin this particular post, I would just click unpin from top. But I won't do that until Friday's event is over with. So if I were to move this a little further, so there's an event tonight. And one tomorrow, and then there's one Saturday. So I would change that up, when I post next week's events. All right. Now, you want to also add your company logo to your LinkedIn profile. So I already showed you how to find your company pages on your mini me, on your personal profile page. But in your experience section, I'm going to go to my personal profile. So here is my experience section. So if I click on this pen, and then I wanted to click on here, if I started out with a company name, if I put Hewlett Packard, okay, so I would click on Hewlett Packard, but you have to find your company name. So here it is, Great Careers, okay? So I'm going to choose the logo from the down menu because that company page exists. So if you have not created a company page, you're not going to get a logo. Anybody that does not have a company page will not have a logo. So if I were to go down to some past experiences, I worked for a variety of different school districts in the past, and rather than have each of my individual experiences, I chose, since I'm not doing that anymore, I chose to kind of mash them into one. And I just put various school districts. So of course, there's no company page for various school districts. Same thing here, core care systems. Do they exist? Yes, but they don't have a company page. My husband and I started a general contracting firm. Sadly, he passed away from leukemia. So the company, doesn't exist anymore. So there's no company page. That's where you get these little gray buildings from. So the only way you're going to get a logo on your profile is if you have a company page. Now, you can grow your followers up to 250 people per month. When you first start building your company page, I believe it only starts out with 100. And then perhaps after that, you'll get granted your 200. So, for example, if I were to go on Delaware Valley Veterans Consortium, so I support, the local veterans organizations by posting social media on DVVC, on their LinkedIn profile, as well as a Facebook page. So here's the post that was programmed. I schedule things in advance. So this was posted 2 hours ago. But right here, it says 250 out of 250 credits are available. So if I wanted to invite a connection, let's say I wanted to invite Dave, I could invite one, but I don't want to create a post. So I'm just going to say no thanks. And now you'll see I have 249 out of 250 connections available. And therefore, if Dave accepts my connection to follow Delaware Valley Veterans Consortium, then I'll get a credit back for that one invitation that I sent out. So if people accept your invitations, you will get them credited back. Next thing is you can add an icon to your website in member view, so it'll take people to your company page, or you can add the icon or link to your LinkedIn signature. So here is the LinkedIn signature I have for Great Careers Group, and I put the link in there. Now, I used to have a little icon. If I were to go to the Great Careers website and I go down to the bottom, I do have 3 LinkedIn links. And somebody might say, why does she have 3 LinkedIn links? Well, one goes to the company page, one goes to one group, and one goes to another group. And that's why. Now, also on the contact page, I have our social media, same thing. Here's one LinkedIn group, another LinkedIn group, and then here's the company page. So if I were to push this LinkedIn group, this would take me right to the group, and I could include my posts, and I've got 91 people that have requested to join. And I will not let the majority of those people in because they have not attended our meetings. I don't know them. They're coming from around the world. So, if we get to build that know, like, and trust, I will add you to the group. But if I don't know you, I won't add random people to the group just to build numbers. Now, if you want to follow the LinkedIn company page, totally different story. Next thing is you want to be able to post valuable content consistently. Now, on the Great Careers Group company page, let me go back there. And I'll view it as a member, and I'll click on post. We are mainly event oriented. So we are a 501c3 nonprofit, but we exist to serve community with events for job seekers, for self-employed, for employed. So we're going to have a lot of events on here, but we have a contest. We do some inspirational posts and holidays. So here's Jewish American Heritage Month, Cinco de Mayo, Mental Health Awareness Month, African World Heritage Day. So we do put posts in that are other things that are other than our events, just to kind of change it up. All right. So going back to my slideshow, I'm not going to read all these, but I have put in a whole bunch of ideas. If you're wondering, like, gee, what should I post? You know, I need some sort of ideas. So I put these all in alphabetical order, and you can come up with different designs of posting. So I'm going to just kind of fly through these few pages, because you can read this on your own. Okay, so when you post, you want to be able to tag people in your post, as well as company pages with an @ symbol. You also want to add hashtags so that your content can be found. So the magic number of hashtags is 3. So I've bolded that, but 3 to 5, okay, up to 9 to 10. But you don't want to do any more than that, because it would be considered hashtag stuffing, and you don't want to get involved in that. But you can do posts up to 3,000 characters, but you know, more like 1,200-ish is a little bit better. So I'm going to go to, let me go to my personal page, and after this meeting, I will be creating a post. And I'm just going to go to the reference, the last one I did. So this is the video where my video is 1 minute and, I don't know, 16 seconds. It's something short and sweet. I don't have captions on it because mine is just music, and you can read everything that you need to. And if you need to read that slower, you could just stop the video and then continue. So what I've done is I've recapped each day what the topic is, and then you can see that the speakers are in blue, and that means that I've tagged them. Yesterday I had Stefan Zavalin, How to Stand Out in Any Industry. Wow, what a terrific presentation. So he mainly works with entrepreneurs, but he was just terrific. I really enjoyed his presentation. Now, if you scroll down here, I will be talking about this. It's going to come up in a slide in a little bit. This has what I'm going to call a LinkedIn signature. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of recapping myself with my bio, and then I've got a call to action. And my call to action is to follow hashtag Great Careers PHL. So that's my custom hashtag. And then Great Careers Groups, that is the company page. And then I put my hashtags underneath. So if I click on this, that would take, you know, if you clicked on it, it would take you right to our company page. And if you clicked on follow, you know, then you would you know, get the posts in your feed. Okay, I know we've got some questions, so if you just hang tight, I will come back and get to them. All right. Now, another thing you saw that in my post, I had some emojis, and then I want to talk about Unicode. So going back to my post, nope, this one. Oops. Try again. Okay, whoops. So when I go into my post, you know, you're going to see emojis that are down here on the bottom. And where I get the emojis from is emojipedia.org. So if I wanted a heart, oops, heart in hand, because I'm a nonprofit, right? So here's heart hands, and I can click on that, and then I can copy and paste that emoji into my text. And so that's how I get my emojis. Now, Unicode is something a little bit different. And I'm going to go to Richard Vanderblom. He is respected globally as a LinkedIn trainer. And I highly recommend that you follow him. He puts out fabulous content. And right here in his featured section, this is the algorithm report for 2022. He puts this out every single year. And this is 57 pages of great stuff that he has researched with his teammates. I have printed it out, I've highlighted it, I've annotated it. So great stuff here. Now I want to show you, let me go to show all activity, and let's go to some of his posts. Do you see the 12 tips to create a perfect personal brand on LinkedIn? That is what is Unicode. Now, Unicode is not something you want to use too much on your LinkedIn profile because it is not read by the algorithm. It's coded words, not real words, so it's not going to be in LinkedIn's database. But it doesn't hurt to necessarily put it in some posts that you might do. So you can see the word comment and you can see the word repost, and he's making those words pop out. He's actually the one that I got the idea from for the LinkedIn signature. This is what he does, and you can see 3 hashtags. So that is the magic number of hashtags in a post. You want to hopefully have engagement on your post. So, you know, you can make a content calendar for your social media, Google Docs, Trello, Asana, Airtable. We use Google Docs as a nonprofit. And, you know, you can publish your industry content, you can write your own content. And there's different ways of posting. You can, and scheduling. So we use Hootsuite. We have a nonprofit account for that. For Delaware Valley Veterans Consortium, I use Buffer, but I can only post 10 posts at a time. There's no budget, there's no money in, there's no money out. It's just an organization that exists. So I had to choose something that was free. There's Sprinkler. These 3 platforms are noted by LinkedIn, but there's lots of other different platforms for scheduling. And my suggestion is just try and see what works. But you can go and schedule now on LinkedIn and your LinkedIn company page. So here's my personal page. If I click here, see there's a little clock here, schedule for later. So I can put my content in and then I can schedule this for a specific time. Same thing if I go on my company page, I can click on start a post, put the content in, and click on schedule for later. So if I look at view all scheduled posts, okay, you're going to see all these posts have already been scheduled. So, it's just something that can be done in advance. We were having some challenges with Hootsuite to the company page. And so we decided that we were just going to use Hootsuite for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then we were going to post live on the LinkedIn company page. But then a few months ago, LinkedIn came up with the scheduling on the LinkedIn company page. So if you post from Hootsuite or Buffer or some other entity that does scheduling of your social media, you may not be able to tag in that post. But if you schedule it on LinkedIn, then you can tag a company page or a person or multiple company pages or people on your post and then schedule it. So that's a benefit of posting directly on the platform. Okay, so now we're going to talk about engagement. So it's really important when you post that you are engaging on other people's posts before you post. LinkedIn is all about engaging on the platform. So you want to go to 3 other people's posts at least and comment, then you post and make sure you babysit your post for about an hour and comment back and engage with people that are engaging on your posts, and then comment, on other people's posts some more. So if you're going to post videos, it's better to post native videos, like take your MP4 and your YouTube thumbnail and post those directly onto the platform versus a link from YouTube. You can create PowerPoints or Canva PDFs for carousels. So what does that mean? If I go to my profile, and I were to go to show all activity, and you could go to my profile and see this. So I'm going to click on more. And if I click on documents, these are the carousels that I've made. And it's like a deck, but I make them in Canva. So here, April's Autism Acceptance Month, and this is a carousel. Now, this one, April's National Volunteer Month, this one is a seamless carousel. Now, if you want to know more about the difference between a carousel and a seamless carousel, I'll direct you in a minute. But you can see these posts don't go away. They stay on my platform and anybody can refer to them. So here's a 14-part resume series, and it just stays. And even though I posted this last November 2022, it is still there. Now, I will go back to my home page and tell you where you can learn a little bit more about the different types of carousels. So here is my featured section, and I readily change out my video every week. I readily change out my blog article every week, but I keep some other important things in my featured section that I kind of like to keep there. So one is a couple months ago, I was named as one of the top 15 LinkedIn experts in Philadelphia, which was a nice surprise. I didn't apply to anything. I just found myself in the article. And then the one on the far right I had been nominated as one of the top 50 LinkedIn Index Experts International. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now, what's this turquoise light bulb? Well, this is something called Career News Today. This is my newsletter. Now, I choose to publish my newsletter on my personal profile, but you can have a newsletter on your LinkedIn company page. So you'd give it a name, you give it a tagline. So here's bright ideas to manage your career. I publish it weekly. You can do yours monthly, quarterly, bi-monthly, bi-weekly, whatever you want to do, whatever works in your schedule. And then you can see right now I have 5101 subscribers. So I've got 74 editions. Well, yes and no. I didn't start doing the newsletters right when it was available, and I had published a bunch of articles beforehand. So I've written over 200 blog articles because I also write for Vista.today, which is a Chester County publication, Delco.today, which is a Delaware County publication, Bucksco.today, and Montco.today, and you can figure those out. So my articles typically on LinkedIn or other career topics go out on those platforms on Friday. But because I have a different audience on LinkedIn, I also put the blog posts on my LinkedIn newsletter. So if I were to scroll down here, here is this article, is it better to use a regular or seamless carousel? So if you click on this, you will have links in here that show, examples and how I built the carousel, etc. So here's how I created a seamless carousel. And this is what it looks like. You can see the heart is on one slide and moves to another. And this little heart with a little swirl, that moves on to another slide. So that's a seamless carousel. When you take a big old long Canva image and then you use Pine Tools or some other software, which is free, and chop it up into little sections. So when you look at this on your phone, you will see what I mean, how it looks different than on a desktop. Okay. Next, you want to see if you can cross promote. So tag your personal posts on your homepage. You can share your company posts on other social media platforms, etc. So what I do for that is, whoops, let me go to LinkedIn here. I'm going to go to my feed, and I'm not sure if I shared any posts from my company page recently. Oh, here we go. Here's register for this great opportunity for a women's entrepreneurship event in Montgomery County on May 5th with SCORE Mentors Tri-County. So I took SCORE Mentors Tri-County. I took their post from their company page and I shared it on my page. Here is, okay, so that one was in the past. That was last week. So on June 14th, SCORE Mentors Bucks County, I took a link from their website because this is an in-person event at Parks Casino, and here are all the speakers. And I just tag them instead of posting it from their LinkedIn company page. But I will be promoting this some more because it's not June yet, and I am speaking, so I will be promoting this a little bit more, probably from their company page when I go on it and share it. But over 120 people have been signed up for that one already. Okay. You want to review analytics on your LinkedIn company page. Like if you spend money on ads, they're kind of expensive on LinkedIn. So you need to be probably a bigger company with a bigger budget. But you can get, free analytics on your company page. And I showed you some of them when I went on there. And I showed you that we're, a little bit in the red down here. But if I were to go to, let's say, Thought Leadership Branding Club, I'm also an admin on this one. So here you've got, unique visitors, new followers, custom button clicks, etc. So you can get some great analytics here. And then also up at the top, you can get analytics by visitors, followers, leads, content, and competitors. So, take advantage of recording that. I believe you can only record LinkedIn analytics for 60 days. So make sure that at the end of a month, you record your numbers, in some sort of a spreadsheet, so that you've got them collected. I didn't realize that at the beginning of 2022. So we lost collecting our monthly metrics for 3 months because we didn't do that, because I didn't know that they disappeared after 30 days. Next thing is, you can research what your competition is doing, where they're getting engagement on LinkedIn, on their company page. I love this little infographic from Xavier Degros. He is in Paris, and I had to break up his infographic into a couple little bits, but I've linked an article that he wrote about LinkedIn company page best practices, etc. So you can, click on that and look at that a little bit later. Other resources for LinkedIn company pages, I've included them in here. They're all hyperlinked on that page, If you are not aware, you can ask people to ring the bell on your LinkedIn company page for notifications. They have a chance of doing all new posts, top posts, or no new posts. So, if I were to go and look at Thought Leadership Branding Club as an admin, I could ring this bell, which I'll do now, and I'm going to say all new posts and then click save. Okay. So now I will be notified each and every time I have a posting that comes available on this particular platform. Okay, so your company page can follow other company pages. So let me grab that again. So you have page posts following hashtags, employee posts, and ads. Sorry, did they move this again? Oh my goodness. Maybe I have to be in admin mode. I think I do. Yeah. Okay. So here's following. So, who are you following? And here's manage the following. So that's another feature. You can comment as your company page. So if I wanted to go onto this post, for example, Gary Vaynerchuk, let's just pick something out here, one of his posts. So if I wanted to go on his latest post, you can see the little picture of me. So I can give this a like as the Thought Leadership Branding Club. Okay. So now when I click like, the Thought Leadership Branding Club's logo is right there on Gary Vaynerchuk, but I can also comment as the Thought Leadership Branding Club. But if I wanted to comment as Great Careers Group, okay, so I could now like this, and Great Careers Group's logo would be on there. So you might want to consider, helping get your company page out there by commenting as your company page instead of just yourself. Couple more slides and then I'm going to take questions because I know we're running out of time. You can set up a lead gen form on your company page, and this is what it looks like. You can create a newsletter on your company page. I mentioned that before. You can schedule your posts, and with that little clock, and here's step-by-step instructions. If you wanted to buy a book on LinkedIn company pages, I did purchase this book. Michelle Raymond is in Australia and Linaire Johnson is in New Zealand. And I've read this book cover to cover. It's excellent. And you might actually want to follow these two authors because they put out a lot of good content. And believe it or not, you might want to fill a gap as a job seeker by building a company page. So let me just show you what that looks like in case I have any job seekers on the call here. Okay, let's go to this one. So John is in Ohio, and if you look down here, he's looking for a new position. It's very clear he's seeking new opportunity, but here's his LinkedIn company page. It's something that fills the gap. So when you have a profile, you need to make sure that you have in your experience section to present job. You don't want to have it ending without having to present. Now here is my upcoming schedule of workshops. I do speak at a variety of SCORE chapters as well as elsewhere. And here's the Great Careers workshops. Here's how you can get a hold of me. So I'm going to show you one thing on my LinkedIn profile here. If you go to right here, my link tree, and you click on that, that will take you, here's my upcoming speaking events, and you'll see, all the other upcoming things and different SCORE chapters and elsewhere of where I'm speaking. So hopefully that helps. I will check out the questions now and see if I can get them answered. So how do you create a post in advance? Okay, that's a great question. So again, you go to your home page, you click on start a post, you type in whatever it is you want. If you want to put in a link, you can do that. Whoops, I typed that in caps, but it still came up. And then you can add your LinkedIn bio or your signature if you've created one. I have mine on my notes app, which I can access from my phone as well as the computer. And then I want to tag at Great Careers. So here I start typing it. I see this company page logo come up. I type in, hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. Then I click the little pen, schedule for later, and I can schedule it for anywhere from an hour from now. But I'm discarding that. So the next one is what is meant by credited back. So if I go to Great Careers Group and I invite connections, you can see I have 238 out of 250. So if any of those people, 12 people agreed to accept my invitation, it would be credited back. I would get back the 250. So I have the ability to invite 250 people a month. If all 250 accepted my invitation, I could invite another 250. So that would give me 500 that month. But not everybody's paying attention to their notifications on LinkedIn, or, they may not want to follow me. Next question is, what's the best way to direct viewers to my blog website? I hear LinkedIn will suppress the link. So I will post from my company page, our blogs. Let me view this as a member. So on a company page, it's like having a free website. And if you click learn more, this will take you right to the website. So if you wanted to take them to a specific, place, great. Now, I already showed you that on my LinkedIn profile, you can have one link. I started out with having the link to the nonprofit, but I thought, why should I have the one link when I can put a link tree in? And the link tree, this was free. So I made a link tree link that takes you to a lot of different links. And then the first one takes you to the link tree of the nonprofit. And this will take you gears to the blog, the website, etc. So you might want to explore getting a link tree set up, for your blogs and for your website. And you can reference your website in your post, but just know that anything over 26 characters on LinkedIn, it'll create a shortened LinkedIn URL versus if I were to type in greatcareers.org, that's under 26 characters, it will capture the whole thing. But if I put in my membership page, greatcareers.org/membership, it'll take that and it'll change it into a different link. So I would instead write out, visit our membership page on greatcareers.org. So that's how I would kind of get around it so that the link to my website is as it should be. So I don't see any more questions
I
in
have
the
few
Q&A.
questions. I have
Yep.
few questions in the chat.
Great.
Do we need LinkedIn Premium?
No, you absolutely don't need LinkedIn Premium if you don't know why you need LinkedIn Premium. There's lots of people that operate on a free LinkedIn account. So you have to know why.
How often should we post?
If you go to Richard Vanderblom's algorithm report that I pointed out, he says no more than once every 18 hours. So you are not becoming a social media, machine gun, so to speak, once a day, but, maybe a minimum of 2 or 3 times a week, depends on, what you have time for. So I'm going to just share, something real quick. This is something I actually teach in another workshop, but just for giggles, I'm going to go to my Google Drive and show you how I set up social media. So here's DVVC social media chart 2023. So I've got the entire year of social media set up with all my verbiage for Delaware Valley Veterans Consortium. I have the 2022 images, the 2023 images. It's all ready to go. All I have to do is post them. So once I post them, let me go down to the current month. You'll see I've got them put in green, all right? So I still have to post something for the 14th of the month for National Police Week, the 15th for Armed Forces Week, and then here's the LinkedIn or the Canva image, and I've got everything all right there in the chat. So if you spend a weekend and you plan out your social media for the month or a week, you know, whatever, then you have it all ready to go, and then you don't have to fret about not having things ready for social media.
Is there a recommended length for posts?
Yes, you can have up to 3,000 characters, but usually 1,200 characters or less is preferable because people will only choose what they want to read. And it has to be relevant to them. So you want to try and speak to your customer, your one and only customer. So you want to write it as if you're only speaking to one person. We can't always do that because, you know, we do speak to job seekers, self-employed and employed. So, you know, because we're running events, but, you know, you want to try to speak to your customer in your post and keep it 1,200 characters or less.
Is there benefit to you as the owner for people to get notifications?
I'm not sure I understand that question.
Is there benefit to you as the owner for people to get notifications?
So I'm not sure I understand the question, but if people ring the bell on your personal profile or on your LinkedIn company page, that means that they like your content and that you're putting out consistently good quality stuff that's going to entertain, instruct, inspire, motivate, you know, all those social media words as to why you do social media. So as an owner of a business, it's a compliment that you would have somebody ring your bell and you would get notified. So yes.
How do you make a link tree?
Okay, so you would go to, let me just go on this one. You would just go to linkttree.com, linktree.com, and here's pricing. Okay. All right. So here's free. Mine is a free account. Now, the Great Careers Linktree, I get analytics from that. That's my Linktree Pro, but I'm not paying $9 a month. They give it free for the life of any entity that is a 501c3 nonprofit. So my Linktree was absolutely free to set up. I haven't paid a dime. The background and whatnot, colors, I didn't have to pay for that. So all you have to do is sign up for free and follow the instructions.
Can you please clarify how analytics disappear after 30 days?
60 days.
60 days. How does it depend?
It's just not available. So if I went into LinkedIn, unless they've changed it, you know, anything's possible. So here, let me go to Great Careers. And I want analytics of, let's say followers, okay? So this has April, okay, I can get certain bits of information, but unless they've changed this here. But here's like the year. Yeah, so here's a year. Maybe they can change this. There was something where I couldn't get I couldn't get something past 60 days. But now they might have changed this. So in order to check this out, because I don't know what I don't know, LinkedIn's got so many changes. Oh, speaking of which, here's a guy, his name is Kevin D. Turner. Highly recommend you follow him also, because he's the one that puts up all the LinkedIn changes. So here's 85 LinkedIn changes for 2023. So there's a part 1 and a part 2. So LinkedIn keeps changing things. So if you want to get the latest and the greatest, you can go on your little mini me, you click on help and analytics. Let's just see, audience analytics, LinkedIn page analytics. Okay, last updated 4 months ago. If you scroll down to the very bottom of the column and you click on open this page in a new page. So here's the different types of analytics and learn more. Let me put this into the chat since you've got this here. I would have to research that again because maybe they've changed it, because obviously I could pull up some more stuff than I used to. Oh, I know what it is. Now I remember. The 60 days was being able to download the analytics. So let me go to the company page. You can see things, but you can't download the analytics. So if I went into visitors, the export, oh, maybe I can. Let me go 90 days. See, I can't export for 90 days, but let me go to past 30 days. Oh, wait a minute, maybe I can. 90 days. Maybe they've changed it. Let me pull this up. Yep, I'm now going to have to change that slide because they've changed it. So now you can export. It was being able to export the information. So that's good news. Other questions?
Last question. Can you please show again how to change or add profile and banner picture when viewing company page as admin? Do you have to be a super admin to do this?
I believe you have to be a super admin to change the logo and the company page, yes. So here I am. If I were to go to SCORE, I do have a super admin view of SCORE Mentors Chester and Delaware County. So I would go in and I could change the banner by clicking on here, this little pen on the left. And if I wanted to change the logo, here's, you know, the edit logo. Actually, there we go. So whoever built this page, you know, here's 5 hashtags or 5 specialties. You can actually have 20. So if I were to add workshop, okay. So now there's business consulting, entrepreneurship, small business, business planning, management, mentoring. So that's how you add that information, and I'm going to click save, and now the changes are saved. So now SCORE Chester and Delaware County, you know, has a couple more things in there. So I should probably go in and check it out, and because whoever set this up initially, you know, could benefit by putting some more, you know, bells and whistles on here. And definitely, you know, tap into all the other resources for SCORE. SCORE has free mentoring sessions, you know, that are an hour. They can be done, you know, virtually. And, there's a lot of workshops and whatnot that are on listed on the SCORE page.